Here we go!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 4th episode of College Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Tudor. And, as always, we have our guest with us. On the left side here, we have my brother, as always, Nick Tudor.
Hello.
Straight ahead of you, you got Will Powell. How you doing, Will?
Pretty good. I'm back.
That's awesome. And to your right side, we have Logan Sowers.
Good evening, class.
Okay, let's get started. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we start off the night with the news. So let's jump right into it. We have a lot to cover for tonight.
We'll spare the drum rolls.
We'll spare the drum rolls, but not really. Can I get a drum roll,
Drum rolls! Yeah, we're good.
And we're good. First story of the night. We're going to talk about the new PlayStation Vita update that went live this week. Update, I think it's 3.0. 3.0?
Oh.
Yeah. God. No, it's the
Star Wars on your mind.
PlayStation, yeah, episode 3. PlayStation Vita update 3.0. I think it's 3.0. Don't hold me to that, but I believe it is. It added the PlayStation 4 link for remote play at the top. It's a little blue button that has a PS4 symbol on it, and when you click it, it opens it up. You start it right up, and it says remote play or second screen options. Now, I haven't really seen anything with the second screen options being shown. It's always just been the remote play.
Do you think that this is going to attempt to act like the Wii U's asymmetric gaming feature?
Like, yes.
So
that's what it is.
That's what it is, but probably better.
Yes. But with higher resolutions, higher graphics.
You can't play your PS4 with this, can you?
Yeah,
As
yeah.
a standard controller.
It's a second screen option. I believe that's what they're saying.
Okay.
So can you actually... Because some of the Wii U games, you can actually turn your TV off and just play on the gamepad. Can you do the same on the PS
Yes.
Vita?
That's the remote play feature.
Is that not patented?
No. It's a lot like
That's-
the iPhone smartphone thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, with the remote play, it's really cool. It was shown off with Assassin's Creed 4 earlier in the year. Runs really smoothly. So, hopefully it should be pretty good. It's supposed to work with every PS4 game.
Do you
or
think
most.
that this is going to cause people to buy more Vitas?
I would hope so.
You would hope so.
I would hope so.
Would it compete with anything Nintendo has out right now in the handheld market?
Yes.
It would. Because of this feature. Because of this feature.
There are limitations. There are limitations with the remote play. You have to have it on the same wireless network. Essentially,
Which
it
makes sense.
It makes sense. So it's not like if you went to school and you had a wireless network, you could play your PS4 games there.
That'd be weird.
That'd be weird. It'd be cool.
It'd be really cool.
But
Bad for school, but...
bad for school. But
Wait
yeah.
for the PS5. We'll have it then.
Yeah. But so, hey, let's say, we're all college students here. Well, most of us. If you're sitting in your dorm room, right, and there's only like one TV, and you have a TV hookup, and your friend wants to watch this season's great hit show, Marvel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and you don't want to stop playing your game.
Or the 55th season of How I Met Your Mother.
You know, you don't have...
for that.
You don't have to show. You don't have to turn off your your game. You can just bring it over onto your second screen, lay back in your bed, play it, let your friend watch the TV.
Question.
Yeah.
What if he wants to play on the Vita as well?
Why would he get his own Vita? He can get. He's your
What
roommate.
What if he can't afford it? He's paying for rent.
We can't fix these problems on college games. They are beyond our abilities.
We're suffering from them ourselves.
Exactly. We can't fix a problem that we have.
Yeah. So overall, I think it's a cool idea.
So this function will perfectly rival the Wii U's gamepad.
Yeah.
Which probably is going to hurt Nintendo pretty badly.
Well,
I I don't know.
But you have to
We
have
don't
the-
know. We haven't had it. We haven't used it in our own hands. So who knows how well it can
That-
go.
It should be interesting. to say
It should
the
be very
least.
interesting.
That feature was also not a system seller for Nintendo, so it's not like it's really
True.
competing against Sony.
It's the only thing that really compelled me to ever want a Wii U. Wii U.
Yeah, but you.
That's because it's the only thing different from the Wii,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Pretty much.
I mean, there's graphics and
Yeah.
processing power.
HD.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no.
But it's really off by itself compared to the PS4.
Right.
Because if you're going to get a PS4, you're going to get one regardless of what Nintendo's doing.
Sorry about that.
Excuse me.
But yeah, I agree. Sony, what they're doing with this whole thing is they're taking Nintendo's idea, making it their own, and making it better. Because, I mean, if you can play... It's been shown that Battlefield 4 runs on this option. Imagine where, like you live in a basement, essentially.
I do.
Let's say you wanted
Proud
to,
of it.
let's say you wanted to go upstairs, but you don't want to lug your PS4 up there. No, but you had a PlayStation Vita, but you still wanted to play Battlefield 4. You can do that. I don't know how well it would run.
Will it be affected by how well your internet
I'm sure.
runs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm guessing yes.
That being said, you'll never have to lug a PS4 anywhere. It's small enough to carry. It's
That's very true.
very small system.
Images of this is another news story, but we won't focus on it as a major news story. There have been images popping up about the PS4 box, and it's not very thick. It's not thick. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, I'm making this hand gesture that it's not very big.
We are college students. You can measure this in terms of like 2 or 3 small textbooks.
Take like the $5 foot long and cut it down in half. And when you cut it down in half, cut it down maybe another quarter. And that's about the size of the PS4 box. Let's move on.
Very significant.
Let's move on to the next news story here. Call of Duty Ghosts came out this week for all platforms. PS4, I don't know about Xbox One. I haven't seen any copies of Xbox
Have
One
any
out.
Xbox One games been released?
I don't think so. I think they're all day one. I don't think any of them...
Right down to the gate like the Kentucky Derby.
But PS4, you can get your hands on the PS4 copy. Today, we've seen our hands on one, and one of our very own college gamers, Chris Harkins, he has his copy in his hands right now.
He's not here tonight to talk
He's
about
not here
it.
tonight. But he does have one. He opened it up. He says, in his own words, it looks purty.
Sounds like something Chris would say.
Yeah, it does sound like something Chris would say. Look, sound, whatever.
But he's probably right. It is very, very purty.
I don't think it's out yet for
Xbox One. X-Bone.
X-Bone?
I hate when people say that
The
online.
X-Bone?
The X-Bone. Sounds like a sex thing. Sex toy.
It says it's available. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is available now for the Xbox One as well. But anyway, it's available for all systems. I've heard mixed reviews. We may or may not have a review of Call of Duty Ghosts up this weekend for current-gen systems. You'll just have to wait for the next-gen version when the PS4 comes out.
And who would be writing that review if there is one up?
Chris.
Chris. Did he get it for 360?
No. For current-gen,
Yeah.
we have, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this again, and you follow us currently, you will see that last Sunday we had a review posted of Assassin's Creed 4, the current gen, and Sierra Tremper was so kind enough to submit this review. Very wonderfully written. She might be writing this Call of Duty Ghost review. When I last asked her about it, she didn't have very positive things to say about the game.
Does she have what system does she have it for? 360.
360,
Okay.
yes. I don't know how it'll turn out. I've heard that the story is terrible. A video came out, I believe, yesterday or the day before, where there's a scene in Call of Duty Ghosts that is a direct copy, almost a direct copy of the Modern Warfare 2 ending.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Scene for scene, move for move, not just no dialogue.
What have you heard about the online play?
Online play, I've heard it's more of the same.
So it has no storyline, and its online play still sucks.
Yes.
Buy Battlefield.
Buy Battlefield. That's the answer.
Because if Call of Duty has no story mode, it has nothing.
But that's not the story we're going to be talking about, because the review might be going this weekend. But
Look for it. Watch out for it.
Activision released this infographic the day Call of Duty released, with some very awesome information about Call of Duty players. Starting at the top, everyday gamers around the world. Everyday gamers around the world play over 1,900 hours. Oh, sorry, over 1,900 combined years of Call of Duty. Every day.
I think that's holding the species back. The human species is worse off because we play so much Call of Duty.
1.9 quadrillion respawns
Gosh.
have happened in multiplayer.
Every day?
266,886 times the current world population is 7 billion.
Oh my gosh.
The number of respawns in Call of Duty multiplayer is 266,816 times the world's population. Let's see how many. 813 million UAVs have been shot down. A real-world UAV drone costs $4.3 million each. The total amount of UAVs destroyed would cost... I don't even know. Will, what is that number?
I don't
It's
have
above a
nothing.
billion. It's above quadrillion.
Quintillion,
Yeah.
sextillion, what are we talking here?
Sextillion.
Oh yeah, giggity.
It's above a billion.
It's a
Quadrillion.
really big number.
What's right above? What's right above quadrillion?
Quintillion.
Quintillion. 3 quintillion 495 quadrillion 900 billion
Aren't you
dollars.
missing trillion?
That's how much.
We passed trillion.
That is 3.4 quadrillion dollars.
Oh, it's
that
quadrillion.
Oh, it was it quadrillion?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
that's right there.
We are college students, ladies and
We
gentlemen.
don't know math.
We don't know math.
We're not
I'm
math majors.
ashamed.
$3.4
I am.
quadrillion dollars that could pay the 2013 United States federal spending budget 5,422 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
Get in the game.
More than 18 billion multiplayer matches have been played.
Get out of it.
Say that
the
again.
name.
What?
More than 18 billion multiplayer matches have been played.
Which is like team deathmatch, right?
Games like that, yeah. Multiplayer
How long has
matches.
it been out?
Call of Duty,
Yes. How long has
the
Ghost been
multiplayer,
out on the current gen?
not Ghost. This is all Call of Duty.
Oh, I thought you meant this was like only. I was
Whoa.
That would be
that changes
painful.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
okay.
just
I am
all
less.
time.
I am less shocked than I was,
Yeah.
but that's still huge.
Yeah, that's
It's still, yeah. Golly.
that's better.
That would be terrible. There would be some really, really white, pale people.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Us basement dwellers.
Oh man. I don't know.
Thanks for clearing that up. For
I
me.
think
Yeah.
I think I haven't
Did you think
played.
the same thing?
Yes, I did.
Oh
yes.
yeah, you
That
totally
was-
confused us there, Alex.
Yeah.
Sorry. No.
I'm
Call of
the-
Duty Ghost has only been out for 2 days.
I'm the host. We've had a coup. We'll have very well briefed people from now on.
Anyway, next up in the news, I wrote an article the other day, called "Do Graphics Really Matter with Next-Gen Consoles?" And before, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, before I get into my perspective, because this was all an opinion piece from me, let me just see what you all think. Do graphics really matter with next-gen consoles? Nick, what do you think?
Yes.
Why?
Because if you're playing on a next gen console and has the same graphics as the past gen, and the story is tweaked a little, it's basically playing the same game. And like, why pay more money for another system when you could play the same game
On the
on the same graphics on the past system? So I do think that graphics are important.
If you take it as comparing it to the previous gen, then maybe. If you take it as a factor in whether you're going to get a PS4 or an Xbox One, I would say definitely not. They're pretty much the same. So that means they're completely irrelevant. It's not a factor. But if you're going to compare it to whether you're going to get a PS4 when you have a PS3, yeah, you go for the PS4. It's much, much nicer.
If you're comparing this generation with what Will just said, if you're comparing this generation to the last one, yes, graphics are important. I would expect there to be a general improvement in graphics across the board of this next generation. But if you're comparing, like, again, Xbox One to PS4, it shouldn't matter that much unless there's a significant quality improvement in one over the other, which there probably won't be.
So,
Like the difference in games.
Yeah, if Call of Duty looks so much better on the Xbox and than on the PS4, that would be a problem. But it shouldn't be.
but do they really matter with next-gen consoles?
What do you mean?
What you're saying is they both look the same, so it shouldn't matter when you're comparing them. But should graphics be a factor when you're going from current gen to next gen, trying to buy, if you want to buy one or not? Will?
As I said, definitely. I mean, over a span of however long it's been since the previous gen, technology's improved, graphics should improve along with it. I mean, you have HD versus, like, whatever we had back in the day. I don't even remember.
720.
You should definitely have, there should be a difference there.
Right.
And, I mean, the more technology improves, the smaller and smaller you condense a high-powered piece of engineering into. So it should not only be able to contain more in the same, like, area, you should also even be able to make it smaller. That's what's happening within, like,
So you are saying that it should be
hardware.
graphics should be a jump from, like, let's say the PS2 to the PS3.
Yes.
How it was a huge jump.
Huge jump.
So you're saying the same thing should be applied today with the PS3 to the PS4.
Well, if it's been the same amount of time in between them, possibly. Although, supposedly, technology is increasing at an exponential rate, so it might even be much, much better.
What do you think?
I would expect there to be some improvement. I'm not sure there's going to be as much improvement as there was, because the jump between PS2 and PS3 was enormous. It was huge. But I would expect there to be better graphics on the next generation, just because it is the next generation.
Okay, so you expect it.
And
Yes.
we've seen that there is, so...
But do they matter? Do those graphics matter?
I don't know, it depends on, like... I mean, if you're playing Tetris, no.
It
I mean,
should.
if you have three-dimensional Tetris, okay, that could be cool, but, you know.
At that point, let me go ahead and give you what I pretty much said in the article. I'm pretty much just saying that graphics do not matter. I mean, obviously they matter when you're visualizing it. Duh. But when it comes to buying a next-gen console, if you're only concerned about graphics, or graphics are your number one priority, you're probably not ready for next-gen yet. Essentially, I just said that a lot of the games that have come out in the past 2 years, a lot of the Game of the Year, like, contenders, like some of the best games I've ever played, haven't looked great graphically. My main example is The Walking Dead by Telltale Games. Okay? Now, The Walking Dead, I'll bring up an image just to give you an idea. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, you're probably gamers. You probably know
The Walking
The
Dead.
Walking Dead. It was a big hit last year. It didn't use traditional, like, going for ultra-realistic graphics. It was going for a
That'd be
comic
frightening.
book, cel-shaded, kind of.
Well, but in that
Yeah,
case,
I
the bad
remember
graphics
that.
are intentional.
Well, they're not necessarily bad graphics, it's just a different art style.
Different style.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
We are looking at pictures of The Walking Dead on Google Images.
so if you can kind of just see these. Oh, whoops. No. Just kind of like this. Images like this when it loads. Hold on. Give it a second.
Cue the elevator music.
What's this? Game?
There it is. Okay. But pretty much that's essentially the game, right? It's not going for ultra realistic graphics or anything like that. But the game is one of the best games I've ever played. You know, the story was excellent. The sound was excellent. The voice acting was excellent.
I guess it's all in story and gameplay in the end.
I think that's the way we're going nowadays. With graphics, the way we're going, if you're buying a next-gen console, any game you play is going to run good, look good, but it's really up to the developer to make a good game.
It's like comparing Twilight Princess of Legend of Zelda to Ocarina of Time.
Right.
Which everyone knows Ocarina of Time was quite possibly the best Zelda game that they ever made, and the new 3D version on the 3DS is very, very well done. But on the original, like back on the N64, the graphics were not that great, to say the least. But it was still a really, really great game.
Right. My case is we're not making the jump that we did from PS2 to PS3. Because PS2 to PS3, it was standard definition TVs to high definition TVs. So you're going to get a better picture anyway. But where we're going from now, where games like The Last of Us, which if you've ever seen video or pictures of that game, it's almost photorealistic, right? It looks amazing. The graphics are amazing. And they did that with the PS3.
Made by Naughty Dog.
Made by Naughty Dog, yes.
I have a question. If, besides the graphics, what else does the next generation do that is superior to the current generation?
Essentially, you're going to have faster load times. You are going to have better graphics.
Well, of course. But besides the graphics, what else is different?
You're going to have a better controller. Probably at the beginning.
The processing power has increased.
Yeah, processing powers has increased. Better social features. Overall, just improvements on the current gen.
Yeah. I mean, when you can, as I was saying earlier, with technology increasing, the CPU is getting better, and it's in the same amount of space, it can contain just as much power, well, more power than in the previous gen, and so you're going to have better CPUs, better processing power. It's going to be, all in all, better like, more smoothly run.
Right.
Which will be nice.
And essentially, I made the case in the article that kind of moving away from the processing power and how the games look and everything. I made 3 factors that should be going into considering, or 3 factors that should matter on next gen, right?
Does the Ouya count as a next gen system?
No, absolutely not.
Damn it.
Accessory system?
That makes more sense, yeah. 3 factors: gameplay, company dedication, and then the non-importance of super quality graphics, which we've kind of already went over.
But why can't you have excellent gameplay and what was that other one?
And good graphics?
No.
Company dedication.
We can have that with the current gen.
And we do have it with the current gen.
So what's the point of buying a next gen?
That's the question, isn't it?
Why? What? So that's where graphics plays in.
No, it doesn't. If you question, if you're basing it on graphics only.
I'm not saying basing it on graphics, but
Right.
graphics are a factor of the next gen.
But
They're not an insignificant factor.
Let me get into this here. New consoles are going to come out anyway. You know, gameplay will improve. If the gameplay isn't funner than current gen, it's pointless.
Yeah.
I'll already say that Battlefield will be way more fun to play on the next-gen consoles than the current-gen consoles. Both with shirt graphics, that's one thing, but that doesn't matter. But the gameplay itself, you'll have more players on the field. You know, the controller feels better, you know, than the DualShock 3. Though, that just...
Unless you're a midget and the controller's too big for your hands. Then it might not feel better.
But yeah, the gameplay is different. And then company dedication, you know? Sure, Sony has always stuck by the gamer, but now they are really pushing it. And
Except
Microsoft...
when it botched the Xbox 360 release.
And this comes down to... The company dedication thing really just comes down to which console you need to buy. Because if you're a gamer, go with Sony because they're going to support the gamers.
Or Ouya.
But if you like to watch TV and Netflix and all that, go with Microsoft because they'll.
Well, you can get both.
Really
you can do
help
that with a PS4.
Yeah, you can do that with PS4. But what do you guys think? Gameplay is it important,
Yep.
or graphics more important than gameplay?
No,
No.
gameplay.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that graphics should not be overlooked.
I would say
They are a significant factor in purchasing a next generation.
I think
system.
graphics are.
They're not the
always
only factor.
they're always
they are a
significant.
factor.
as long as they don't take a step backwards, you're fine.
That would be a
Yeah.
very significant factor.
the PS4 comes out with PS2 graphics.
Only then.
Hey, that'd be
Yeah.
nostalgic, but
Yeah, not
Sony-
$400
Sony
nostalgic.
well,
Yeah, Sony doesn't
Well.
cater to hipsters, Nick. I'm sorry.
But here's
Why?
the thing:
No offense to hipsters everywhere.
the graphics are gonna look
Anyway.
The graphics are gonna look good anyway, with all the power they got in it. And game developers always want to push the limits of the consoles.
Especially
Which is
Sony.
cool.
So, I don't think it doesn't matter that much.
You need a drink.
I would say
I'm taking drinks. I've been talking all day.
one thing that is
You go.
definitely important is
The taste.
if the game comes out on the previous gen or not.
Mm.
So if it's a next gen only game, then you want that game, then you definitely have to get the next gen.
Titanfall.
Which is
Well,
only
it's just also-
going to be an Xbox game.
It's coming to 360 too, and
It's
PC.
still an Xbox.
So I don't know. We're in this odd position
With Titanfall or with...
with all next
Because
gen
the
stuff here.
Xbox 360 and the PS3 are very good systems,
Yeah.
and
No, one
chances
of
are
them
they're
is a
going to
really
continue.
good system.
They're going to continue to be supported for the most part.
Right.
Eventually, it'll just kind of like die out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when another gen comes out, but for the moment, it's definitely going to be supported.
How long is Sony planning on supporting the PS3?
I think they came out this week and said they're going to have 300 new PS3 games out this holiday.
Why would they do that?
serious?
To make money.
Well, yeah.
Most of them are going to be indie titles
Okay.
because they're easy
hey,
to come
those
out.
When do they
are
plan
cool.
on...
Those are cool.
When
They're
is its
fun.
10-year life cycle up?
We're in our 8th year now.
So it doesn't have that much longer to go.
Right.
How long is...
PS2 went past its 10 year. It went on
They
to
stopped making
12.
systems, but they kept...
They stopped
producing
making
games, but
systems
there wasn't
in-
many games produced.
They stopped making systems in like 2012.
But there wasn't very many...
It was
was a year
12
ago.
years in a 10-year console cycle.
It is the most successful video game console in history. Take that,
They
Atari.
kept talking about it. They kept talking about the PS2 well into, I think it was like 2008, 2009, at E3. At E3, they still talked about the PS2.
It was revolutionary, though. Could you
Now,
not
imagine
live
PS3
yourself being a
was
gamer
out.
without it?
The jump between PS1 and PS2 in graphics, it was as big as the jump between PS2 and PS3. And graphics did matter then.
And the graphics were incredible back then.
Yeah.
Back then.
Back then, but they've gotten so much worse.
Well,
Especially for the Ouya.
overall, I think it'll be.
Ouya.
I think it'll be.
Is the Ouya even still being made?
I think
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, it is. Unfortunately. Anyway, let's move on to the next news story of the day. This is going to be our last news story of the day.
Oh.
But it's a big one.
Oh, yeah. I know what it is, people. I'm excited.
Actually, don't.
He's been studying this for about a day now.
Yeah, no, it's been a whole day.
Now, come on, tell us, what is it?
Drum roll.
It's come
No,
out
no.
that
I'm done with that forever.
Microsoft announced
Stop that.
their upcoming next generation console, the Xbox One,
Xbone.
requires regular updates to the cloud. Essentially, this means that the cloud, which is everything that a lot of the multiplayer games work on,
It's a mystical place.
run on. It's. I don't know exactly how they implement it, but it works.
They
It's a
do.
cool idea. Sony has a cloud. I put all my save data on the cloud. But essentially, since it needs regular updates, that means like daily, like every day, every other day, something like that. But these updates, According to Xbox Live lead program manager John Bruno,
He would know what he's talking about.
he would know what he's talking about. He says, once in a while, this is what he said in a presentation at GDC Next. He said, once in a while, rather frequently actually, the host OS operating system will require an update, meaning the physical machine is going to get rebooted, whether your code is running or not. That means that if you're in the middle of, like, let's say, a Call of Duty match, and it needs to reset or update, or let's do Titanfall, because Titanfall is known to work on the cloud. So if you're in the middle of a Titanfall match, your console can just turn off.
Does
like
this
that.
require an online connection, internet connection, to download the update?
Multiplayer? If you're playing on multiplayer, you're online anyway.
Oh, true, duh. Yeah.
So, if it updates, you're in the middle of a match, it just shuts out. You lost everything right
But
there.
if you're not playing online, this won't be a factor.
It will still be a factor.
Because the entire system reboots.
The entire
Which means
system reboots.
It turns off and turns back on.
Yeah, it turns off. Off.
So even
off,
if you're playing
and turns back
offline, you'll
on.
still need the update.
Yes,
So it will require an internet connection to get this.
probably.
So it's the exact
The cloud
same thing.
will probably pop up in your operating system and say it needs to be rebooted. Please download the new update.
So this is the exact same thing as the
Not the DRM. Not
the exact same thing, but
Yeah.
it did require an online check-in every
Yeah.
day. So this is very similar to
This
that.
is very
and people
similar,
revolted
yeah.
against that, and they said they had reversed that.
yeah.
I'm wondering how long it's going to take before Microsoft changes this and /or stops screwing over their players.
Nick,
Okay, is this just for the Xbox One, or is it for everything?
No, this is for the Xbox One. This is just for the Xbox One.
Shuei would never do that to you, Nick.
Shuhei Yoshida would never do this.
Shoot, hey.
John Bruno went on to say in the same presentation, that's a problematic thing for a game, and as oftentimes is in the middle of a multiplayer match. We've worked very hard to overcome that, but that's not to say it's going to be a reality in every case. So they've tried to overcome it. I mean, it's nothing a patch won't fix. You know, where it'll, like the Windows update, like Microsoft Windows update, it'll say, like, reboot in 14 minutes. You know, that's all they need to put in. So if it needs to update, unless it means the entire server room in their office. If their entire server room needs to shut down and reboot, and that means that every Xbox One needs to reboot at the same time, that's a problem. That's a big problem.
That's a problem.
What's going to be scary is when your Xbox is shutting down, and damn it, what's that thing called?
Rage quit.
No, the Move. Their version of the
Kinect?
camera, the Kinect, and the Kinect is still on, scanning your room.
It's got like a red laser.
It's
got like a red laser.
If the Kinect lifts up and starts talking, get out now.
Self-destruct
They're
5,
watching.
4,
They're watching.
3.
No, I don't know.
The new version
Based
of
on
the
what
Red Ring.
you said that he said, it almost sounds as if they've tried to fix it, but they can't. It's like their machine is smarter than their programmers.
And Microsoft
Yeah,
did just buy Nokia, so they're building more machines. We know it.
I'm wondering if, like you're saying, Will, like if they can't fix it, if they didn't reverse all the DRM stuff, if this wouldn't be a problem.
It's interesting because when they first came out with the system at E3 and said all these things, like with the DRM and stuff, and then they went back and changed everything. The question is, did they actually change the system at all? Because it almost is beginning to sound like they're going to have to change the system to actually fix all these problems that are occurring.
Right. I mean,
See, we can't click in the analog stuff.
I don't know, man. It just...
I tried.
It's scary. It's scary for Microsoft because... Sorry, that was your foot. I thought that was this.
Stop playing footsie. It's the college game we're talking.
No. It's scary. I mean, with Microsoft, a big corporation, and I feel like they're kind of trying to rush this out. their
That
console.
and they're being invasive,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
I mean, a story came out today about Dead Rising 3, one of the launch games for Xbox One. It displays at 720p and is locked at 30 frames per second. I mean, what kind of next generation console is that?
The X-Bone.
The X-Bone, that's what.
Take that. I have read an article that says that the Xbox One has been rushed out to market, though, so we'll find out.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. They want to compete with Sony, and if they don't actually have the system that can do it, I mean, they're not going to win, but they want to get it out there as soon as possible.
Right.
Because if all these PlayStation gamers have PS4s and they're playing all these next-gen games...
Consoles having fun with their friends, streaming,
And the Xbox One pre-order players just don't have anything. It's like, I mean, you'll have the Xbox 360 if you have one, but the longer you have to wait, the more likely that they're going to turn to the newest next gen.
Take the system back and get a PS4.
Yeah. Well, and you get the PS4 like a week and a half early.
Yeah.
Compared to the Xbox One.
Well, that was all the news for today. I felt like it was a pretty cool news week. But we're going to move on with the show now. Now, as with every week, and I have a feeling this might just be the last one. Logan, how many weeks until the PS4 launch?
1
week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay.
That is 7 days.
We have not been counting down the Xbox One release. I just realized that.
We will be when the PS4 launches, and then probably forget.
How many weeks? 1.5.
But essentially, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to detail what we're going to be doing for the PS4 launch. We have a lot of things lined up, and hopefully you'll join us for it. We'll be advertising it and promoting it like crazy, so if you don't see it, well, I don't know why you didn't see it. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is next week's podcast is going to be in the midnight launch line of the PS4.
Which will include me, Logan, Alex, and Chris Harkins, right?
Chris Harkins.
And is Aaron going to be there?
Aaron might be there.
A lesser-known figure named Aaron may be there.
This would be his first time on the podcast, but essentially, you're going to be hearing us sitting out there in the cold, freezing.
Nick might be there.
Nick might be there.
And a warning about Aaron, he's not very exciting. It's not his fault. Don't judge him.
He's a down-to-earth person.
So, we'll be there, sitting in there in the line, freezing. Hopefully first in line to get our PS4s. We might be interviewing some people in the line that are right behind us.
Maybe.
Join us for that. It should be a good time. We'll be talking about a lot of our previous gen history, memories, sorry. All of our previous gen memories.
The N64, the PS2, and the
some of
PS3.
our favorite memories from the PlayStation era.
Not the Wii.
Just join us. It should be a great, wonderful time.
What? Me and Nick are having a conversation in the background, and it's distracting our lovely host, Alex Tudor.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm going to cut all this out.
You probably should.
I will. Anyway, we will be covering a lot of the PlayStation memories from this past generation, and any PlayStation memories we've had. Any current gen, PS3, Xbox 360, whatever memories we got, we'll be talking about them, so be sure to join us then. But one of the major events for November 15th, the day of the PS4, we will be having multiple live streams from College Gamer podcasters.
Yay!
Such as me, Logan Sowers, and potentially Chris Harkins. Maybe Aaron, maybe.
What games are Aaron getting?
I don't know. Aaron's up in the air.
Is he getting any?
I think he is. I don't know what he's
Potentially FIFA! I'm just kidding. Is that even a launch title?
He might be getting Madden. Which is not a bad game. Anyway, we'll be doing live streams via Twitch all day, essentially. 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6 hours of non-stop gaming except for bathroom breaks and lunch.
Which will be frequent.
Both
of them. Lunch and bathroom.
Depending on who you watch. We'll have different live streams for each podcaster. So if you want to view different games, just check back at the article for the links to the different podcasters, and you'll find out what games they're playing. Just to give you a brief idea of what games, Logan will be covering Battlefield 4 and Injustice. I, Alex Tudor, will be covering Battlefield 4, NBA 2K14,
Yay!
and Infamous. No, not Infamous. Injustice.
I
Sorry.
will be looking after Infamous.
Anyway.
That's Nick's.
And then
jurisdiction.
Chris Harkins, if we get him on board, he will be covering and live streaming Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer live.
Which is all he plays.
So, and then at the end of the day, probably around 5 o'clock, we will be having an Injustice tournament, essentially, between me and Logan Sowers, where we're just going to be playing Injustice with each
Multiple
other.
characters.
Multiple characters.
Alex is really good when he plays with the women.
Catwoman.
I hate it.
I love Catwoman. She
She's a
is
bitch.
amazing.
I love Aquaman and Superman, the most powerful characters.
Quick
in the
question,
game.
Logan. Which
So we know
Catwoman
who's
do you
gonna-
hate? Or do you hate all of them?
Her and all of her 9 lives. Yes.
So, that's what's coming up
Okay.
next week. Thank you for joining us. We don't really have anything to predict next week because it's the PS4 launch.
I predict that Xbox fans will be jealous.
Xbox,
Yeah.
that's a good prediction.
Yeah.
That's a good prediction.
It's not
Actually, let's
something-
do some predictions. Yeah,
That's my
a good
prediction. Logan Sowers predicts Xbox fans will be jealous.
Will, what do you predict for next week in gaming news?
Well, probably, as Logan said, Xbox fans will be jealous. And I would say that most PS4 gamers will be delighted.
I think that's true. Yeah.
Gamers will be sick and hungover from playing the PS4.
Is there-
Ooh, that's another
is there-
good one.
is there
That's
such a
another
thing-
good one.
Is there such a thing as a PlayStation 4 hangover?
Yes,
I
there
think-
is.
I think not.
It's a bad addiction.
It's a cure for
You
a
can
hangover.
get one for
my
Xbox
friend.
One, but
No,
you can't
the
get one for
kid-
PlayStation. Selling
It's a
points.
sickness, and the only cure is to play more.
Spoken like a true addiction there, Nick.
My prediction,
Need more.
and unfortunately, I'll have to take a pessimistic route because my predictions are typically always wrong.
And everything happens on a Wednesday.
I'm a Sony fanboy. I hate to admit it, but I am. I'm going to say that the PlayStation 4 has some sort of system breaking feature. And it won't work for anybody. But that probably won't happen because it's gone through extensive testing, and I believe in Sony.
You're just
So,
a bad mood.
Also, there's something you haven't done in the past couple of weeks.
Hmm.
Which games should you be playing?
oh yeah, what games should we be? Nick, what game should we be playing this weekend? Nick's still playing Pokemon X and Y.
As he opens his DS.
Okay.
I'm fighting the Elite Four right now, and it's still great.
Me personally, I haven't really. I think actually, here's my game you should be playing this weekend. If you haven't played BioShock Infinite, play it. There is a DLC coming out next week, actually on November 12th, called Burial at Sea that goes back to Rapture, and that should be pretty good. So, Will, what games do you think we should be playing this weekend?
I have no idea.
We got Assassin's Creed out, Call of Duty Ghosts is out.
Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
That's the
My,
game.
my friend went to the midnight
Oh, really?
release of that.
Which friend?
Stefan.
Should he be on the College Gamer podcast?
Is he a college
I don't
student?
know.
No, he shouldn't.
He skipped school and
Oh,
played
no.
Assassin's
College Gamer
Creed
does
all
not
day.
condone school skipping. And
Except on November 15th.
Exactly. And the game you should be playing is Battlefield 4. What's that deal you can do where you transfer your scores over to the
Oh,
next gen?
yeah.
That's what you should be doing.
All Battlefield 4 scores and your stats and everything transfer over to next gen. So if you're playing it on current gen now, you can transfer it then.
Which is what you should be doing.
I've got another recommendation. You should be playing The Last of Us.
Why?
Why? It is one of the greatest games from this generation. And this year. But so is BioShock Infinite. This is the conversation for the end of the year. Anyway, with that being...
Excuse me, I didn't get to speak.
Okay.
It has, like you said, photorealistic graphics. Gameplay is immaculate. The title is really good. I like the titles.
It is a good title. I approve.
And it's about zombies. How you can go wrong with zombies?
They're not zombies.
They're not zombies, Nick.
They're not?
What are
This
they?
whole thing, I thought they were zombies.
Nope, they're cordyceps infected.
I'm gonna have to play it again.
And on that bombshell, it's time to go.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week on the 4th episode of College Gamer Podcast. It's been a pleasure having everybody here with us. Nick Tudor, Will Powell, and Logan Sowers. I'm your lovely host, as they say, Alex Tudor. I'll see you next time.